Hello guys, it's been a while. Today I'm going to show you guys how to make a cover for your RC tank gearbox. Prevent like wire from snatching in, whatever of the wire that hanging from your ceiling from getting caught at the gear. You don't want that. We don't want that. That's not good for your tank. You will spend some time to resolder whatever. So I already made one for the other side, so I'm going to show you how to do this. It looks like this. It's just a simple wooden cover. It could have been like metal or plastic, whatever material you have, but I have awful lot of wood, so I'm going to show you how to make it out of wood. So the first step is, well, it depends on what kind of gearbox you have. The new Henglong gearbox, they already have the decent plastic cover, but if you are doing some custom work that you haven't get to buy the covers, so you decide to make your own. This is how. So you get the ruler and measure the width of the gearbox. I mean the casing left to right or whatever way. So as you can see, it's about 2.3 mm, something like that. It doesn't have to be like super accurate, just enough to cover the thing. It will do the job. So the best type of wood to do this is the plywood like some kind of thin board that was just about 2 mm thick or even thinner, but not too thin. You want to have some stiffness to it. So let's draw the thing and then we cut the thing. The length is about 16 cm. That will be more than enough. The good thing about this, the cover, they also help reduce the noise from the gearbox, so you can hear more of your tank sound effect more than the gearbox itself. They are pretty noisy, as you already know. So now you have a piece of wood to cover this. So this is the difficult part, where you have to make the shape that cover the whole thing. Well, it's not a simple rectangle box. It's a thing that looks like this. See? Yes, curves and all that is really troublesome, but we will work it out. So how do I do it? You use pliers, preferably the long nose type. So every time you bend one time, so you check the shape contour. Set up to shape. So you need to bend a bit lower. So you just do a light bend to it. Yeah, that's the sound. So you see the shape. So you need to bend a bit lower or somewhere in the middle. We see we're already making good progress of cutting half of it. So this is the point where you need to bend. So like this. Just make sure where you bend, the fold line is straight, not tilted or in a odd angle. I meant like, you know, make it straight so it looks nice. You don't have to be very specific about this kind of space. You can just fly over the thing. So this is the next bend point where it's going down. So you bend about here. See? It's just so easy. I know my whole hand covering the whole thing so you couldn't see anything, but that's how I bend the wood. Just grab the whole wood and bend. So this is where at the point you should secure the place where you bend is super glue. Of course, gluing this also takes some skills and practice, not just pour the whole thing in, you flood the whole thing with super glue. Just slightly to drop a bit to make where the crack is to glue back together, so you stay that way. Same as the top, so you see the crack, just glue it back. That's how you bend and secure the shape that you want to have. See, it's already hardened to retain or stay in that shape that I want it to be. So you do the same for the top, of course, with finger holding the thing so it doesn't become something else. Now we already covered the whole thing about 80%. So this is last bend. So you start the bending here. Some glue still wet. Just it's not perfect, but you know it will do the job. So it's a drop, so you need to bend about 3 or 4 times, so it will make the descending smoother. So you see, it's already covering the whole thing. When I told you to cut about 16 cm long, it doesn't have to be 16 cm long, but as you can see, the other side is reaching the bottom, so you need to cut away about 3 mm. So these wood are good that you can. This is like a taboo. People say, oh, don't use scissors to cut wood. No, actually you can. They're just like cardboard. See? So you try the shape again. Now it's almost, I can say almost covering the whole thing. Now I kept saying this is a hard part, but not so hard now, right? It looks easy. You should give it a try so you know how it feels. So you hold the thing for a while to let the super glue to harden the shape. I mean the super glue seep into the crack where you just bend, so it will, the bend shape, the curvature will stay that way. Almost done. So you see, it's a nice shape that you want. Now this is possibly the, I say possibly because I'm new to this. I didn't done a lot of video like this to share my knowledge of how to bend wood, because there will be a lot of extra step afterwards to make the whole thing more complete, as these are not simple things like a box. This you need to be waterproof or oil proof, I don't know, because you will be applying applying a lot of grease to the gearbox to protect the gear, so you don't want the oil to seep into the wood. So you might as well do the waterproofing step right now. Oh, how do I waterproof? Same thing, super glue, but not too much, of course. If you're dripping the super glue everywhere, you don't want that. So we let it dry for a while. Okay, so we are back. The super glue almost fully dry. So you put back. You get yourself some scrap paper, whatever, to get a template of this shape. So we can cover both sides, so to prevent the oil from spilling out or wire going in. So let's mark it. Obviously you have to make some recess or cut out to avoid the screw of the gearbox. Especially these three big screw, you have to maybe the wood you just make until here. So almost get the contour, the shape of what you just did. It doesn't have to be do it my way. You can be very angular. I find this pretty convenient for me. This is just a rough cut. So you can see the imprint from where you press, so the screw will leave the mark where you need to cut away. So once you make sure your shape, so just transfer them to the wood. Like seriously, there's lots of way to do this. You might as well, if you have a 3D printer, you might as well 3D print a cover for it. But I don't have one, so I have to do it by hand with wood. The top can be bigger a bit because you will sand it away later. So this is your shape. Okay. So since they are just 2mm board, so you have to be careful with them. They are quite fragile. So you cut the now you got one. And we are on to the last one. now we have two. So again, it doesn't have to be perfect because you can sand it off later. So it will look like this. Alright. The point is to cover whatever hole that wire can go in or the grease can come out. So this will be fine. So just glue it. You hold the thing in position. Get the thing out. And glue it. This excess you can sand it off later with your grinder or sanding table if you have those, or files, or even craft knife. So to prevent the thing from blooming, so you just leave it out for like 20 minutes or 30 minutes. Blooming means the vapor or evaporation from the super glue, they will leave some kind of white mark from on your things, or people call them the fog. See, there you have your cover. So we on to the other side. So I have glued the other side like before. You have to super glue the whole thing. Just apply and strap with your nozzle to cover everything in super glue. So in the future, when you apply grease to the gearbox, the grease can come off easily, or maybe just don't seep into the wood. I put in a bit too much, but it's okay. There you go. It is now fully waterproof, or I don't know what you call it, like oil stand proof. So now let us trim away the excess. Right, at this point this is fine. You can leave it like this, or you want to make it pretty or neat, so you just sand it more. Alright, it feels like I have skipped a lot of steps, but I can assure you not much. It mostly sanding to make it looks nicer. You can hear me doing it now. Just to scrape off some bit of wood. So this is the finished product. It looks like this. This is why it's a tricky, like a shell or cover to do. So this is the moment of truth. Boom. Cover nicely. Okay. So easily remove in case you want to do maintenance. As you may know, a lot of new Henglong 6.0 already come with covers, so you don't have to do this. This is obviously for some third party gearbox that you buy that you need to have a cover for it. See? And the thing is, some Mato gearbox, they don't even have a cover. They perform great, but they just don't have a cover for it. The Mato gearbox is good, but like I said, they don't have a cover. So after you apply the grease and oil to lubricate the gears, once you start running the tank, the oil will just fling inside the tank, making really messy interior. Your wires or your board all get the grease and oil. That's not good. We don't want that, right? So Mato should have provide some decent plastic cover, or just make a full metal cover for their gearbox. But don't know why until now they haven't do it. But never mind that, we can do it ourselves when we got the time. So next I will show you why this cover is important, but especially for my tank, because this gearbox is in a weird position. So I can't show you what tank I'm working on, is a secret for now. But the big video, the big stop motion video will be coming up soon. I hope so, as fast as possible. I plan for this tank to be a very fast project, so I can move on to do other things. So as you can see, this is the turret hole. You see how close the wire is to the gearbox. If you get snagged or get caught in the gears, and your gearbox will cease to function because the wire has been eaten up by the gearbox. Without the covers, it will look like this. See? What a nightmare, right? So with the cover, so it's safe. The turret gearbox was so close to the gearbox, so it's a tight space. I was very lucky, everything managed to fit together. So I hope this video is helpful for you, to provide you an idea how to do your own gearbox cover for all sorts of gearbox from a lot of brands, like the Walterson that no longer that I think they stopped producing that. It's a very, how to say, very compact gearbox, but also without a gearbox cover, so it's very noisy, and once you apply the grease and oil, it will be very messy in the tank, so you don't want that. My gearbox too, they are pretty noisy as well, so this will help reduce the noise a lot, and you know, a lot of good benefit from doing this. Protect the wire, keep the oil and grease in the cover, and reduce the noise. So thanks for watching. I will see you next video. Bye.